Conflicts between communities and police have erupted into riots in recent years, prompting headlines and intervention from the federal government. It's changed the way police go about their business. But if the duty of the police is to protect and to serve, is the change making us safer? Given some of the numbers, that answer may be no. According to a report from the FBI, violent crime is up significantly last year over 2015, up in all cities by over 6% in 1 year alone. President Trump has promised a new law and order. Our Josie Sturman takes a look at the new policing in America.
Ferguson, Missouri, in the summer of 2014. Riots erupted after the shooting of Michael Brown by a police officer. It also triggered a vigorous and sometimes violent debate over the relationship between police and minorities. In April of 2015, Baltimore erupted in riots after the death of a black suspect in police custody. The death of Freddie Gray unleashed weeks of fury.
It's one person at a time, one day at a time.
Kevin Davis is Baltimore's police commissioner. He was promoted to the job in 2015 after the riots and immediately faced calls for a change in police tactics.
I mean, there's never going to be a final chapter to all this, you know? We're never going to reach that point where 100% of the population loves the police.
In Baltimore, changing tactics wasn't completely a matter of choice. The city and Department of Justice agreed to sweeping police reforms to stop overly aggressive tactics and restore trust in city cops.
We've been policing in a way over the past, 10, 20 plus years that has really upset the community, and it's really driven a big gap between the police department and the community.
Gone now are strategies like stop and frisk and zero tolerance policing. Black Lives Matter. The DOJ claims those and other tactics have created problems in 24 cities.
Any community, no matter where you are, wants its police department to lock up bad guys, murderers, rapists, robbers, burglars, thieves, arsonists. There's really no question about that. But when it comes to some of the discretionary enforcement efforts that our profession has engaged in, all too often, that I think we're making our way away from, it's those discretionary enforcement efforts and initiatives, particularly in poor communities, particularly in African American communities, underserved communities, that have really upset entire communities.
Cops are backing off of proactive policing in high crime areas, and as a result, violent crime is rising at a dramatic rate.
Heather McDonald, author of the book The War on Cops, says police can't afford to back off too much.
After the riots in Baltimore, the Freddie Gray riots, drug enforcement just ended in Baltimore and shootings went through the roof. Recently, a Pew poll came out of officers. 72% said that they are less likely now to make pedestrian stops, to engage in proactive policing. Arrests are down in Los Angeles. They're certainly down in New York.
There are consequences. In 2015, FBI stats show the biggest jump in homicides in years. 25 of America's largest cities up drastically. One of them, Chicago, has become a murder capital. The city had more than 750 homicides last year, and arrests were down.
That is a very, very bad sign, because the law-abiding residents of high crime areas beg the police for public order enforcement. But when the elites, when the mainstream media, when the White House is sending the message that that type of policing is racist, we shouldn't be surprised when cops back off. And when they do, again, it's minority lives that suffer.
Law and order must be restored.
Then candidate Trump called for change. With Jeff Sessions as Attorney General, many see a police-first mentality likely to return to the Department of Justice.
More law enforcement, more community engagement, more effective policing is what our country needs desperately.
But at the local level, words matter.
Hey, I need help. We're here to help you.
Leaders like Davis talk about the danger of phrases like law and order that can be taken as a threat.
Like we're just going to come in here and crack skulls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So does that hurt you
Yes,
when that is said? We're a law and order administration.
absolutely.
It fosters fear almost.
Fear and anxieties, and I think it tells people that we're willing to roll back the clock on some advancements that we've made.
Hey man, how are you? What's happening?
And in Baltimore, some of those advancements are measured in hearts and minds.
I'm gonna give this to you. You know what this is? It's called a challenge coin. That's yours.
And so what do you think we can expect under Jeff Sessions as the new Attorney General?
So two big changes coming out of this administration. In a new executive order from last month, Attorney General Sessions brought up this idea of a new task force with some different strategies to reduce crime, specifically things like illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and violent crime. And then in comments to police chiefs, the president said there would be absolutely zero tolerance when it comes to violence against police officers. He considers that a hate crime.
All right. Josie Sturman, thanks a lot.